What's up guys, the Snowman here, and today I've got a tennis informational video going over the 4 Grand Slams in the sport of tennis, when they take place, where they occur, and the format of these very important majors. These are the biggest tournaments throughout the year. They give out the most rankings points, the most prize money as well. So let's learn more about these Grand Slams in tennis. These are the 4 majors on the annual tennis calendar. We always start off with the Australian Open, also known as the Happy Slam because it signals a brand new tennis season, typically played in mid to late January. The Aussie Open in Melbourne, Australia is one of 2 hardcourt Grand Slams. Then we move to the clay in the spring, and with that comes Roland Garros, the second major of the year, also called the French Open, as it takes place in Paris, France. About $41 million in total prize money on the line there. The third Grand Slam is Wimbledon, which is played on the lawns of the All England Club in London, a grass court tournament right in the middle of summer. Wimbledon, very prestigious. It's the oldest of the 4 majors, founded all the way back in 1877. And finally, we have the U.S. Open, the second hardcourt Grand Slam, contested in late August, early September. And I believe if my numbers are correct, the U.S. Open doles out the most prize money. Always a fun couple of weeks in Flushing Meadows, New York City. And getting into some more specifics now, at each of these Grand Slams, we have 5 main championship trophies up for grabs. There's the men's and ladies single events, which both have draws of 128 players. More on that format in a sec. We also have both the men's and ladies doubles tournaments, which consist of 64 doubles pairings, and the mixed doubles, which is doubles with 1 man and 1 woman on each team. The mixed doubles is a 32-team draw, except for at Wimbledon, where it's slightly larger at 48. In addition to these 5 tournaments, there's also the boys and girls junior competitions. We've got wheelchair events. Sometimes retired legends will play in exhibitions, but the main 5 tournaments at every single major are the men's and ladies singles, men's and ladies doubles, and the mixed doubles. In terms of the format, how the bracket is set up for the men and women's singles draws, we mentioned it's a 128 player pool. Over 100 of those players qualify through the rankings directly. So if you're in the top 104 of players who are playing at a particular Grand Slam, you get in automatically, no hassle there. But if your ranking is higher than that, you probably have to go through qualifying. There's typically 16 qualifying slots up for grabs at majors, or you have to receive a wild card from the tournament themselves, usually about 8 wild cards per Grand Slam. There's also protected rankings that players can use if they're returning from a serious injury. But we have our 128 players for both the men's and women's singles, and before every major there's a massive draw where the names are drawn randomly and we set up our bracket. And there are some rules with the seeds for the draw. For example, the 1 and the 2 seed are always on opposite halves of the bracket. There's always just one of the 32 seeded players per 4 lines. So for example, a seed will never play another seed until at least the 3rd round of a Grand Slam. But from there, we play out the 7 rounds. There are no buys in Grand Slams, so every man or woman has to win 7 matches to win the championship. Men are playing best of 5 set matches. Women play best of 3, and both play every other day most of the time throughout the 2 weeks that a major takes place. You got the first round, second round, third, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and the winner of the final is your champion. Doubles is very similar to the singles as well, but again, they only have 64 teams as opposed to the 128 player draw in singles. One note about tiebreakers, and in particular final set tie breaks, each of the 4 Grand Slams has different ways to determine deciding sets. So as of 2019-ish at the Australian Open, you stop at 6-6 in the final set and play a match tiebreak to 10 points. That's different than the more primitive thinking of Roland Garros, where they don't have a final set breaker at all. They just play and play and play some more until somebody wins by 2 games. Wimbledon utilizes a conventional 7-point tiebreak when the score is at 12-12 in the final set, and the U.S. Open also plays a 7-point tiebreak, but at 6-6 in the last set. Personally, I like the Aussie Open format the best. The 10-point tiebreakers can produce some big-time drama. And if you're familiar with pro tennis rankings or have watched my tennis rankings explained video, then you know that each tournament doles out a specific number of points depending on how far a player makes it in said event. The bigger the tournament, like Grand Slams or 1,000 level events, they give out more rankings points. So this table shows the points given out to men and women in both the singles and doubles tournaments at majors. If you win a major, you receive a whopping 2,000 points. That's a pretty hefty amount. For the men, they get 1,200 points for losing in the final. Women receive 1,300. Semifinalists get 720 points on the men's side, 780 for the women at the majors. And you see the list goes on and on from the round of 16, third round, second round, first round. Just know that the Grand Slams, they give out the most points. 2,000 points always on the line for the winners in addition to a nice fat check. All right, thanks a lot for watching my Grand Slams explained video. Please subscribe to the Snowman Sports Media for more tennis content. Follow me on Instagram at Snowman Sports Media, and be on the lookout for my tennis tournament previews throughout the year. I always preview the Grand Slams, so the Aussie Open, French, Wimbledon Championships, and US Open. Stay looking out for those previews as well, but thanks a lot for watching. Cheers!